Let's talk about Orpheus and Eurydice. This name for me is impossible to say. Eurydice.
Hi, I'm Kristy. Welcome to Weird and Witchy Shit, a place for, well, weird and witchy shit. Here we talk about everything from the magic of yoga, rituals, tarot, crystals, astrology, self-love, mental health, spiritual stuff, spooky things, and anything of the mystical variety. So if that sounds like the kind of shit you're into, then you're in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the coven.
This is one of the most popular tales of Greek mythology, and it is a truly tragic love story. So Orpheus was the son of Apollo, who is honestly the god of pretty much everything, including but not limited to music, poetry, the sun, healing, light, and same-sex love. His mother was Calliope, who was one of the 9 muses. In fact, she was chief muse, and her particular talents lay in eloquence and epic poetry. Orpheus had inherited some of the talents of his parents and was extremely musically gifted and had a very beautiful voice. When he was young, his father Apollo gifted him with a lyre, which is a string instrument. It's much like a harp, but it's a lot smaller, so it's like small enough to sit on your lap. Orpheus took to the lyre right away and was immediately very talented with it. It was said that when he played music, it was so beautiful that even the trees themselves would uproot themselves to come and be closer to where he was playing. Eurydice was a beautiful oak nymph, and she too had a love of music and a very lovely, very sweet voice. So when the pair met each other, it was love at first sight, and they knew from that day forward that they could never bear to be parted, so they got married. The pair spent a short time in harmony with one another, and it is said that no two souls were ever more meant for each other than Orpheus and Eurydice. Eurydice? They were like one soul in 2 bodies. But like I said, this is a tragic love story, so don't get too comfortable. So there is a couple of versions of this story. One version is that Orpheus had an enemy who desired Eurydice for himself. So the couple were walking in the woods one day, and the man attacked Orpheus in hopes of killing him, but the pair ran away. And in another version, she was simply dancing in the woods with her nymph friends. But either way, running from an attacker or just dancing in the woods with her friends, she unfortunately stepped onto a deadly viper snake that ultimately bit and killed her. As you can imagine, Orpheus was heartbroken. There wasn't a mortal or a god who didn't feel his pain and feel his grief. In deciding that he simply could not live a life without his wife, he came up with a plan, a mental but brilliant plan. He decided that he would go down into the underworld and beg to bring his wife home to him. After all, what did he have to lose? What could they possibly take from him now? His life? Not worth living anyway. Orpheus was to use his greatest charm and his greatest weapon to lull the gods of the underworld. So using his voice and his lyre on the way down into the underworld, he managed to soothe everyone that he passed by, putting Cerberus to sleep, calming the ferryman, until eventually he managed to get himself an audience with King Hades and Queen Persephone. This is where Orpheus sang them a song so heartbreakingly beautiful that Hades himself began to weep. Hades was so touched by this that he agreed that okay, his wife can return to Earth with him. But there was one condition. To prove his faith and trust in the gods, Eurydice was to walk behind him as they left Hades, and Orpheus must not look back until both of them were out of the dark and into the light, completely out of the underworld and fully into the upper world. Under no circumstances. That's it. Just don't look back. And if that one simple rule cannot be followed, then all deals are off. So Orpheus makes his journey back out of Hades, and as he nears the exit, he can hear his wife's footsteps behind him, and it takes everything in him not to turn around and hug her, but he knows that he can. He's just telling himself, just keep going, we can wait until we're out in the light, not long now. But as he continues to walk, the footsteps seem to get fainter and fainter, and he starts to doubt himself. He starts to second guess everything. He's like, why would the gods let me just take a soul from the dead back into the living? They don't do that. They don't bring people back from the dead. This could be a trick. So he couldn't trust. He couldn't wait. But he tried his hardest, and he kept on walking until eventually he reached the daylight, and he couldn't wait any longer. He turned around to see if his wife was really, really there, and as he turned around, she was still in the dark, and in an instant, she was gone. He looked too soon and lost his faith and lost his wife a second time. Orpheus tried to get back into the underworld, but he was not granted access because a mortal can only visit the underworld once while they're still alive. So he had to just admit defeat. He never played a joyful song again, only sorrowful songs of pain, grief, loss and heartbreak. His songs sang out to death, just waiting for the day that he could be reunited with his loved one. And eventually Orpheus did end up dying. There is a couple of different accounts on how he did die. Some say that he was torn to shreds by angry women because he still remained faithful to his wife even after her death. Some say that he was killed for worshipping Apollo instead of the god Dionysus. Either way, in death, he found his way back to his love, and here is where they spend eternity together. If you like this story, but you'd like a really interesting take on the story, then I recommend the poem by Duffy. I'm going to pop it up on the screen of the YouTube version of this, so you can just pause and watch here. But he definitely does not come off as the romantic hero. He comes off as a total fucking dickhead. But yeah, I really like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy my other Greek mythology videos. So please check them out. Subscribe if you would like to see more. Please give the video a thumbs up if you are watching the YouTube version. It's a really nice and free way to support me and support the channel. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
If you'd like to continue the conversation, you can get me on Instagram at kristys_coven. That's KRISTYS_coven. You can also find me on YouTube at kristysyogacoven, where I post a lot of free yoga classes and shit like that. And I'd love to have you join because it's not a coven if it's just me. And until next time, bye!